need to kill somebody. Somebody.
So,
And no one
money.
knows.
I had to pay Cambridge today. That was so much fun.
Oh, Lily, you should put your
Census Day.
thingy on
My life.
because you're facing the dark.
Night.
Did they do things like hex it over there or no?
What
No,
things?
I have to pay everything straight up. It's $50,000. So good, so fun. Anyway, let's play fantasy.
It's
okay, thank you.
You said no.
Oh, Emma.
Do you think give me a cuddle?
Yes.
Emma.
Yes.
Before
Oh, you can see my
we get
little
before we get into like the
got a little
game,
shine on it. What's that?
with
Josh?
armor. Well, with armor, because we're obviously about to get into a fight. So my armor, Cass isn't wearing full armor, but my argument would be that she's wearing a slight bit of armor because her dragon thing does have metal and stuff. So I would say she's
in
not
that
completely.
case, you can put it as a. Hang on.
I specified I was wearing armor. I just want to say I had the foresight to do that.
Yeah, you specified. I would say Cass. She's definitely not got her full armor on. I'm not.
Okay, you can be wearing. Hang on.
Also,
I
I
would
don't
say
trust
that
any
she's not like
Sorry, I thought this was going to bring up a list of armor.
completely armless.
Leather
And I
armor?
kind of want to get that in now
No, I
so that
have
we're not in the
a-
middle of a fight.
there's
And I'm like,
two
no.
Yeah, you can be wearing
armor class
scale
right now.
mail.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
This
Scale mail.
consists of
Yeah, I would say that.
leggings, sort of leather covered with overlapping pieces of metal.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds pretty much what it is. What is the bonus on that?
So this is a medium armor. So add that. You can add that on your sheet.
Okay.
And if you want to just add like on a little tab next to it, party outfit in the edit notes or whatever, just so you know why you have it.
What's it called again?
Scale mail.
Scale mail.
I'll allow this to constitute as that. So because Ulster is also allowed to have a under.
Canonically, Ulster's armor is very skin tight. We know this.
Oh, we started playing The Witcher. We were just so shocked about how snatched Geralt is in the game versus the TV show.
I pointed it out. I was like,
It's
that's like Ulster's armor. It's so like tight fitting. The battle corset, perfect. Sexy armor.
Okay, cool. And I'll unequip my current armor and then equip the scale mail.
Sure.
More sexy armor for men, less sexy armor for women. I think this is a movement that I would spearhead.
Hell yeah. Bluey.
Where is my...
So you are aware. I know you said you didn't have a great sword, but you have seen a great sword this evening. Loran does have a great sword on his back. Just so you're aware, okay?
I mean,
for it.
but it won't allow her to cast her spells.
No, I'm afraid.
Yes, all right.
Your sword is a very, very special sword. Yeah.
For very, very special fighters.
Yeah, really, really special fighters.
Very special. My name is Bluey.
Really special.
Bluey Special Sparks.
Oh, that's your middle name. Oh.
Yeah. And just the last note, Neff, you're wearing your fancy party outfit, which you didn't get to tell us beforehand. So what is your fancy party outfit?
Was it the pirate?
Oh yeah, that was it. It's a really, really well-made pirate outfit.
Do you have a cutlass though?
Yeah, cutlass, fake parrot, eye patch, peg legs.
No, Thomas, it was a real parrot.
Oh, it's a real parrot! Oh my god, can I keep the parrot?
It's a real parrot in a cage that just kind of sits on your shoulder and does not look
In a
like it really
cage?
wants to be.
Yeah, I'm letting the parrot out of the cage.
It starts attacking your eyes. Make me okay, dexterity saving throw.
God.
Wait, can I, wait, can I, okay.
The game has started.
I would like to,
Are we recording?
I am
Are we
recording,
recording?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm recording.
Oh, okay.
Emma, I would like to offer you a compromise.
What's this?
May I offer an animal handling check?
Well, actually, if we are genuinely playing the game, let me just pause one moment.
Mm-hmm.
For Thomas's
do
sake,
recap. Yeah.
Celia, would you like to recap the previous session very succinctly?
That was just cruel.
I was gonna say I think Anna was actually on recap this time.
Anna, would you like to do it?
Before that.
Are you excited for it?
I was gonna offer actually because I mean I feel like a slightly more detailed recap would do as well,
Go for it.
especially chocolate.
I'm very excited.
But I will try and keep it.
Hell yeah.
All right.
You are the keeper of recap.
Keeper of the knowledge. Okay, so, post the wedding, in the courtyard, Hikotaru and the others from Aprea, a bunch of dignitaries are kind of enjoying themselves. Tribe heads help the married couple off the brief shoe flight, and then the coronation proceedings start to sort of go underway. I believe, yes, the group of Apraeans are described. Milena, Merlin, and Frederick are there as well. Included, including there's people from like Temple of Bahamut. I wrote down a name, but it is in the margin. Never mind, I don't have the name. All right, there's someone that Cass and Brian recognize from the campaign. And Bluey has a conversation with them, a brief one. Pikotaro is moving Aprea to sort of democracy, away from monarchy. Love to hear it. You'd love to see it, folks. Yes, the throne room is pretty. Proceedings are great. Pretty lights. There's wind through the palace, and it kind of makes the palace sound like a wind instrument, the way it sort of goes, which is just amazing. I think yes. And like it's very historic because this coronation is happening with like the previous rulers alive rather than dead.
Yeah.
Brian and Loran walk in together first, and then followed by Lucas and Daniel. And then the partners go to the side. Ceremonial stuff. The summoning of a frosty sword by Sharfistle. Good stuff. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Really cool. Cass, what she had been working on with Farinia was a pair of crowns that kind of together form like one band, but you can separate them, and like one is kind of like the frosty, snowy land, and it's kind of like looks like a sort of landscape, and then the other part forms like mountains, and the frosty white gold one is all stairs, and the silver one is Lucas's. Thank you, Brain. All right, sorry. Okay, that's only 2 pages out of 8.
You did it. I'm proud of you.
Good. Yes. Daniel is given the title Queen Consort, and Loran is given King Consort, and then Brian Whispers also Royal Bed Warmer. So unofficial. After it all, Brian also transformed into a dragon. Lucas rides with him, and Brian like breaks the ceiling, and it's like, oh my god, the light's coming in. Very cool. After the whole thing, Brian gives us all a hug. Cass finally is able to say, hey, roll me without repercussion. Yes. Sarah's suggested a drink just before the celebration starts, so we all kind of go together and get some Nevin down. Everyone but 3 falls asleep from the Nevin. Farinia, because she isn't drinking any. Bluey rolled a 25 on con. And
It is fine.
I think Loran did amazing. Yes. Had to, yeah.
And Cass.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Cass, yes.
Cass is great. Of course, Cass did.
Started stubbing.
Pretty double, but she did do well. So yes. But thanks to slightly, shaking Slayer awake, she's able to restore everyone, I think. Yes. And then outfit reveal, Cass is in the basically scale mail. Looks almost like a black dragon, just stunning. Frinia's in like a simple kind of like dark green dress, I think. Slee's in like a midnight blue pantsuit. I can't remember if Cass was no shirt, but Slee was no shirt.
Everyone was no shirt that day, pretty
much. A lot
much.
of people were no shirt gang. Loran is in some stylized armor, a helmet, and has an ornamental greatsword. Freya is in a pantsuit, no shirt. Saraza has a sleek new suit on the front, but on the back you can see like a corset on. So it's like, I thought of that meme where it's like the business suit, but it's like a mirror. Like you see a mirror in the back, and you see lingerie on the other side hidden by the front. Anyway,
very good.
Zarina is wearing embroidery strategically placed because she is not wearing underwear. Yes. And
Thomas is just like, what?
It's a dress. It's just very, very, very clever.
Sorry,
I respect
that did
it.
make it sound like she
There
has
is
a
the
doily or
dress
something.
situation.
Just.
However.
Yes, and of course Neff is in pirate outfit. Brian has shown his outfit. Is it the dress that you've sketched, Lily? That one?
Yeah, that's his dress.
Okay. Yes. There is. Danny Wells done something fancy with a wedding dress to make it good to dance in. A bit shorter. Yes, it all kicks off. There's cool sort of alcoholic drinks and non-alcoholic drinks at the thing that have various effects. Cass and Freya become like intangible and can fly around. Yes. Various chats with people. Sleer dancing with my wife. I wrote that down. Yes. What is that name? Indira. Oh, Indira approaches Bluey. That's very sweet. There's a convo about between Freya and Cass about like just how dire the situation is with the sisterhood, and how Freya just feels so paranoid. And Cass is like, a little bit of paranoia can be a bit healthy sometimes. Like the sisterhood are on our radar, and we would like to deal with them. It's a very, very, looking back, that's a very funny conversation to. Anyway, yes. Okay. Pico Taro goes to Brian and is kind of gives an ornamental knife. It has a diamond blade. It's very cool. There's a similar one like it in the Freya. Also, he's talking about this sickness, necrotic sickness. I think Allstairs able to notice it, and it seemed to have affected him ever since Osha has arrived in Eldrilith Wash, and it seems to be the case that a bunch of people around Eldrilith Watch are affected by this kind of curse. It's already been evacuated, partially evacuated. There's 400 people left there, and so that's brought to Brian's attention as like now fellow ruler. Also, we're going there already. Also, OSHA, oh no, being used in schemes.
Like the point I was about OSHA. He was so concerned about OSHA. So you're.
Mm.
It was.
Yes. Brian has made an offer to his dad to extend Romney's life somewhat because, though his treatment as a father to Brian was, a bit poor and won't be forgiven anytime soon, Brian wants to give him the opportunity to spend as much time as possible with his grandkids, which is very sweet. That requires some powerful magic. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Phrynia gets
Doesn't
tired.
exist. We'll figure it out.
Phrynia gets tired. Sleia brings her up to Brian's room, and then on the way, Sleia seems to see some of the attendants of Pikataru. They're looking similarly ill, and although they don't know what Brian just heard, they seem also affected by this necrotic thing. So Sleia takes Phrynia up. Phrynia is in Brian's tower thing. She comes back. Pikataru is there. And yes, Sleia is able to do an amazing heal. The curse is gone. And she offers to do this for up to 700 people through mass heal. And then Pikataru stabs Sleia, actually revealing that he was Sinestre.
A drow in disguise. Because
Yes.
I'm a one-trick pony.
And us as players understand that this isn't the Pikataru that was just talking to Brian, because he's still there. So Sinestre has disguised herself as a second Pikataru. Almost immediately, Slea's brought down, but not before Sleia can slap Sinestre really hard for 69 hit points, but then halved. And with 4 stabs, Sleia is dead. Just before she dies, she says, please just let this end with me, to her aunt. And
she was thinking that. She was
thinking that. Sorry.
Yeah, she didn't say that.
We see another figure is holding a child. I have to assume that's Valis. Sleia does thump her and whispers to him only, run. And then she catches a glimpse of Gerald looking furious, going into the shadows. I assume that he is going to help and is going to attack from the shadows, because I think that's what he does best. Shadow Man. Yes, this ends my report. That might have been a long one. Sorry. But that's everything.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Super sorry to do this. I'm going to really just run to the loo. And then we will get into game. So fast.
Oh no, my god. This is chaos.
Yeah. Yes, Leah's very far away from anyone else.
Oh boy.
It can't be too far away within a single place.
A palace?
Well, like I said last game, I stand by the fact that Cass and Freya had said that they're going to go find a quiet place, and that would be one of their bedrooms, which would be in the direction where Sleia was murdered. So I stand by it that Cass is narratively and not metagaming going that way, and we'll find Sleia.
Yeah, because Sleia didn't... the intent y'all probably could have picked up on is that she was going to retire for the night from the party.
Yeah. I think Cass would have probably noticed that, but I feel like also Cass isn't necessarily she's not coming this way to check on Sleia.
Yeah, exactly.
She would have been like, oh yeah, Slea's all good, she's going to bed. But Cass and Freya would be like, we're also going to bed, so.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Thank God for the horny characters.
Not happy. Not happy.
No.
Happy Jen.
Not happy.
Not happy, Emma.
Also, I can hear Aelin trying to stop people saving him.
Yeah, Alan, don't do that. I'll beat you up.
I'm not trying to stop people saving me. I'm just like,
I think it's funny. I'm hiding, it's funny.
I
the
don't think it's funny.
Look at
the
this
chance
man.
of like Slia being like, who is gonna find Slia first is just like, is it gonna be Farinia coming back down after 10 minutes or
Could be Droll. Droll's found Slia.
yeah, Gerald has found Slia.
Come on, Droll. Pull through for us, Droll. We love you.
Pretty.
Ooh,
Pretty dice.
I like that die.
After just a few seconds.
Oh my god, is it Hugh?
Okay, our roofing guy's just arrived, so we're gonna let him in and then we're gonna come back. Sorry, guys.
That's so annoying.
Cool.
No worries.
Of course he's here early.
Are the cats sorted?
I think they should be in the hotel.
Oh yeah.
Anna, what cats are you talking about? There are no
Sorry,
cats.
I don't know what I just said. It's so strange.
Okay, Anna, if I move to Sydney, we have to catch up for coffee.
You're talking about the
Yes.
cat
I
teddy bear. Yeah, they look very lovely, don't they? Sorry, what did you say, Thomas?
So if I move to Sydney, Anna and I have to catch up for coffee at some point.
I will get you like I'll get like a huge map or like the main transport map and I'll be like, all right, here's where everything is.
Yes, please.
not
I'll be
everything,
super new. I'm gonna be like a tourist there.
I wonder. I mean, like, it sounds like your work is going to pay for the moving sort of stuff. But
yeah,
like,
they're gonna pay
getting
for the
some
move and they're gonna
rice
pay for
ready.
1 month of rent.
okay, right. Yeah, I wonder, like, you'll have to do it properly. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you get in quick, you could get the place that we were just in Strathfield, but actually they may be too expensive for one person.
Probably,
But
yeah.
it's probably.
I'm gonna be looking for like a teeny weeny little, something that like a little grandma would retire in or something like that. Just like a small little apartment with a car parking space.
A granny flat, but not on someone's property. Properly. Or maybe.
I'm not too picky. I just the only real thing that I need is it needs to have a spot for a car park. Because I was looking before in like in the CBD, and there's a lot of places, but a lot of them don't have car parking spots.
Yeah.
Aylin, you'll be pleased. I've got out a bunch of D8s ready for some damage rolls.
Eater.
I was just looking at my spells to see which one is like more powerful, and I was like, basically, I've got two which are like necrotic damage ones, and I was like, which one's worse? And there's one that looks like it's worse because it's a high level, but actually blight cast at a higher level is actually worse.
Yeah,
so I'm going for
like
that one.
like inflict wounds. Like if I had critted, it would have been 22 d10.
So you were rolling 11 d10.
I rolled 11 d10 to attack Sinestri with that slap, and I feel very good about it.
That is mad. 11 d10 is fucking insane.
I just wanted to finish the thought, Thomas. If you want me to like be on a call with you and like help, or just like be on the lookout for properties that are, you know, that have a car space, you know.
Yeah.
Will you be working from home, or where's the?
Only for the first 3
place of
months,
work?
I'm working from home, but the rest of the employment is going to be all in person.
Okay. Do you know which kind of CBD?
Yeah, it's right on Sydney Harbour.
Okay, all right. So in the city. Place of the car spot. Good travel to the city.
Mm.
I'm happy to help look.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Cool. So, after the recap there, thank you, Anna. Oh, Lily, you might want to redo your camera. Just very good.
It glow.
Wow, that's such pretty dice.
That's pretty. Shimmer, shimmer.
After that quick recap there by Anna, thank you. We will get right into the game. And I'm actually going to start it up in the tower with a certain sleeping halfling. Neff,
Yes.
having a lovely little nap. You hear from the corner of your room a parrot squawking bloody murder. Let me out! Like that.
Okay, Neff will wake up.
Suddenly woken. The parrot that came with your pirate costume is just like slamming itself against the walls of the cage.
Okay, also, does that mean I'm taking a long rest right now?
No, you're not. You're taking a short rest if
Okay.
you wish to be.
Okay.
It's only been about, how long did we say?
3 hours.
3 hours-ish since the party, the coronation, wedding sort of situation ended in the party itself.
Wedding situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Neff will set up word of recall here, in this room.
Okay. How long does that take?
It's instant. It just takes one action.
Okay, cool.
Which I guess is...
And the parrot is still squawking and screaming.
Cameron, are you asking something? You're muted.
Oh, I was just gonna say, does it take only like is it instant or instant as in for the casting of the first time if you are recenter, like if you're making a new temple, or are you just casting to get out?
Let me see.
It's both, I think. Because the
I'll
duration
just really quickly check it. It'll be semantics.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it says duration is instantaneous. Casting time, one action.
That's probably correct then.
You have to set this in a location.
Oh, yeah, okay. I have to link it to my
Your
deity.
deity. So you're gonna need to make like a.
You said that the parrot was screaming bloody murder.
Yeah.
That sounds like a death linked to
Let
me.
me check what I have in my inventory, because I might be able to make a little, might be able to make a little shrine to Jupikari.
What I love, if Neff went super dark, took out a dagger, slit the parrot's throat, was like, oh.
Okay, I do have an amulet, that's meant to be like a representation of Jupikari. I could leave that here and then use that to kind of anchor the spell, if that's acceptable. Because I'm assuming I'll come back to this room to come fetch this symbol, regardless, at least anyway.
Yeah, that seems fine. It's going to take you about a minute or so to just sort of sort that out.
Yeah.
But the whole time the parrot is screaming at you, let me out, like that.
Wait, what's
just
the matter, Polly? I don't know your name.
Cage, you arsehole.
I let the parrot out of the cage.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You that's okay. You let the carrot out. You carrot out of the page, and it sort of takes off, like trying to head towards the window, realizing the window is closed. It heads out through the doorway. Now you would have been left probably in Ulster's own bedroom, where everybody was drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of just like sitting uncomfortably on the floor in a pirate costume with a cutlass at your side.
Just left Neff on the floor.
I'm taking my pirate
Also, I
costume.
would have pulled some like blankets over her.
You have some blankets.
Yeah, I feel like Cass would have put her like on a sofa or a chaise lounge or something.
Sure. You are sitting on like the little like kind of like sofa at the corner of his room with a pillow that has been thoroughly dissected and stabbed, resting underneath your head and blankets over top.
Cass did that.
Cass did do that.
If you got into Ulster's bed, you'd never get out of that.
No.
So big.
But she'll go explore.
Neff, you are distinctly aware of the absence of people here. Everybody seems to be already at the party.
Everybody's gone. Okay. She'll follow the parrot, wherever it's flying.
Okay. So, This is really good.
Don't mind us with this. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's really loud banging going on outside.
Here and there. It's the roof. It's all good.
So, Neff, you make your way down the spiraling stairs.
Mm.
And you hear a strange kind of noise, like almost like a hissing or the shifting of wind or magic. Something you're very, very much not used to hearing in this part of the Ice Palace, or in the Ice Palace at all, really.
Okay.
Right.
Can I do an Arcana check while I'm here?
Yeah.
Okay. Vibe check incoming. It's not the greatest. It's a 6.
6. Okay, let me just give you a bit of an idea of what this sounds like, or you might be able to hear it.
It's a really loud banging noise.
It's not too loud actually. It's very muted on the microphone.
No, it's just loud for us.
Yeah.
Not for us. Not for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Be able to hear it. You just hear these weird shifts kind of moving through the air, which I'm hoping you can sort of still hear vaguely on the Sirenscape underneath. I might just turn.
I can't hear anything on our end.
No, I know it's going to be too quiet for us. I turn it up loud, it'll be through the. Oh, sorry, Sirenscape on my iPad is just a bit difficult to control. Give me one sec.
Emma, would you mind just restarting the music on Sirenscape?
I'm going to, yeah.
It's turned off here as well.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, it should come up.
Brilliant, thanks.
Oh, it's not playing. Sorry, it's just being really, really fiddly. I'm going to fix this so that I don't have to pause during the game if we're in a high tension moment.
Hmm.
Oh, can you hear that?
Yes.
yes. Oh, well, something was playing.
Is it not anymore? No, it's still playing.
Not for me.
It's just very quiet. You have to turn this bit up. Yeah.
It's like a
Yes.
hissing.
I get it now.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave this up so I can see it. Okay. So. Now, if you hear these kind of weird shifts through the air as you walk down the steps, and you can tell that something's wrong, do me your Arcana check again.
Do you want me to re-roll it, or do you want me to just tell you?
No. Just tell me your roll.
It was a 6. It wasn't very good.
Hard to place what these sounds might be. It's really difficult to place what these sounds might be. You actually don't know if you've heard anything like this before in your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone in the last, I don't know, few minutes or from anyone in your party.
Okay. Does Neff know where any of her party members are staying? Or does she not know?
We're in.
You know that everybody would be expected to be at the party at the moment. And just from kind of looking around as you walk down the stairs, you can sort of tell nobody else is up here.
I feel like I'm in the wrong location. Is the parrot anywhere up here?
The parrot has flown off.
Okay, I want to do a survival check to see if I can see any signs of life.
For the parrot, okay, make a survival check, and then I'm going to tell you what you see.
Okay. Oh, not too bad. That's a 19.
19. Neff, something you do here is a very, very slow but constant dripping noise. Drip. Drip. From somewhere in front of you.
Somewhere in front of me. Okay, she will walk forwards.
continue on down the spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it feels a little bit infuriating. You know that there's nowhere else you can really go except forwards, but you get the increasing sense that something is not right up here.
I'm getting the increasing sense that something is not right up here.
I don't like this. You come into my house and you play spooky games? No, no, no. You kill my friends.
The dripping loses its rhythm for a second and then starts again. And it's thicker than water.
Oh no.
Oh.
And it just sort of splats. And it's so loud you can hear it almost in the back of your skull. And you turn the final spiral around the stairs, which would lead you to the exit into the rest of the palace, towards the throne room, further towards the courtyard where the party is happening. And at the foot of the stairs, you see Slia staring up at you. Her head just kind of lolled back on one of the higher steps, just like your eyes immediately connect. The kind of silver that makes them up is just mist. And just the way she's lying, her angles are all wrong. And you see piercing through gashes and slashes of flesh just ripped apart at her chest. Yes, it is. And just blood pouring out of her wounds. And you already know she's dead.
Oh my god. Neff will run up to her. Celia!
As you run up, you get into sight of the archway, which just sort of signals the end of the stairs. And beyond that, you see the room is filled with darkness. Static, twitching shadows. Make me a perception check.
Oh god, okay.
Can't kill Neff again. That's not allowed.
14.
You
Don't scream in Neff.
You get one murder per character.
I think Neff is kind of, she hasn't quite, I mean, she's kind of speechless at the moment, but 14 on perception.
Okay. So, with the 14, it's hard for you to tear your eyes away from Slia.
Yeah, no kidding.
But somehow you manage it. Wait, this might be a bit too loud for...
It's quite loud here.
Yeah. Somehow you manage it. And looking up, you see just catching this strange glow through the dark. Jaral is standing in the middle of the room. He is the center of all of this shadow, and they are gathering up around him. In the corners of the room, you can see kind of the outline of where the walls are, the large throne room doors, which are still partially opened, just in the far end of this kind of expanse. Cowering on the floor in corners, you see a couple of servants who are just like clutching each other's robes, unmoving, terrified clearly, and bewitched by the sight before them. Sinestre, a face you haven't seen in a very long time, is suspended in the air,
Nice.
held up in a puppet-like string shadow formation. She's angled away from you, so you cannot see her face, at least not at the moment. and Giral is slightly angled towards you, and you just see that there's a strange, almost impossible glow around his skull where you see these almost ink-like stars, like neutron stars, kind of like just like slowly spinning around his head.
Okay.
And he's just fixed on, he's absolutely fixed on Sinestro. The next thing you see is that through the shadows, even though he is completely fixated on her, in his chest, not on this side, that's his heart, this side, just here, just missing the mark, buried as deep as it could go before he got her, is the same knife for everyone else that was used to kill Sleer. And he is bleeding
poison.
a bloody kind of flower which is just spreading over his clothes, but he is just fixed on Sinestro. And he's panting like incredibly hard. You can tell that he's doing everything in his power to like keep her here. And Neff, the longer you watch this scene, she just like slowly spins around. Her face kind of coming into vision. Her eyes and mouth are contorted into a screaming expression, but she makes no noise.
Cool.
And behind her eyes and her pupils, you see shadows swimming through her mind. Tendrils of shadow just kind of like stabbing into her ears, summoned from these stars around Giral's head, and piercing her skull. And just mincing her brain. And that's what you see.
Okay. Neff is kind of Neff is kind of silently crying, but she's not kind of acknowledging that fact. Her eyes just water in. Jesus. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, can Neff tell that it looks like Giral is keeping Sinestro here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get the impression that she is being tortured.
Okay, and that wound that Giral has sustained looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I can tell that Sleer is also dead. There's no question as a medic.
But you can make a medicine check, but you get the feeling that...
She will do a medicine check. She will do one.
Oh.
That is a 23 in the medicine.
You already know the answer.
What happened?
You kind of touch her shoulder, and there's a moment where you think she might be breathing, but it's just air escaping from her lips.
We have to get you out of here. I think she'll run up to Giral. Is she able to?
Okay. You can move through. When you step into that room of shadow, it's like you step into a vacuum.
Okay.
And the silence is so loud in your ears, you have to kind of clutch your mind to stop it from breaking you. And you can make your way over to him, sort of stumbling in the dark. You know this palace quite well, having been here many, many times before with Ulster. So you can kind of just like trust your instincts to carry you. Okay. When you make it to Giral, you see that the knife, where from your perspective it looked as though it was fully buried in, there has clearly been an attempt to remove it, like a strange kind of wiggle, pulling it in like a downwards direction.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever happened there, whoever tried to pull it out, it's not gone out further.
Okay.
Make me another perception check now that you're here.
Okay. That is a 15 on perception.
Okay. You do see more figures here now as you kind of move through, getting closer to Giral, who's at the epicenter of this. The servants, kind of seeing you moving through, are just watching you closely and inching towards the exit, towards the courtyards. like slowly moving, but like not daring to run.
Mm-hmm.
And you do see other bodies. You see on the floor the strange kind of deflated husk of a human, just covered in this like kind of black shadow, which just is like bubbled up over their skin and around their mouths and eyes. You've never seen this person before.
Okay.
But you recognize their clothing as, you know, the colors of the Praean monarchy. And then, if you were to move beyond Dural, I'd have you make another perception check. What are you doing?
Okay, hold on. Before she does anything else, she wants to turn to one of the servants.
Yeah.
And say, wait, before you go.
They just look at you with horror, just like...
Don't leave. I'm gonna need your help.
And when you say that, they look... Make a persuasion check.
Okay, alright, okay. Come on, please, roll well. Oh, this is really good! 19 on the die, plus 8 persuasion is 27.
Ooh, 27. Okay. They look at each other and then they just kind of like fold themselves into each other, just like holding on and just not looking, and they just stay where they are.
Okay.
Resigning themselves to being trapped here.
Okay. Before Neff moves past, if Dural looks like is just in a trance right now, she's going to attempt to use her medical prowess to attempt to do something. What she wants to do is to pull out the sword and then put her hand up to Dural's where the wound is and then cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Kind of in like a fluid motion as to stop the wound from getting any worse, because right now it seems like this is pretty bad.
Okay. So you take hold of the hilt. There's no response from Dural.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a strength check.
Okay. Strength check is very bad from Neff.
Or dexterity, depending on whether you want to pull it out quickly or slowly but carefully.
Slowly but carefully.
Okay, then make it a dexterity.
Okay. In that case, that would be a 16.
16. At first, it's difficult, and you have to really put pressure on your hand to gently but forcefully bring the knife out. You can tell it's embedded in bone. The moment it sort of slides out of that bone, it comes quicker, like a reverse puncture. And the moment the blade leaves his skin, blood just splurts forward, and it just covers your front. And Dural instantly is like thrown forwards, like his chest just convulsing, and his hand quivers and begins to contract as he...
Nephew!
I'm trying!
As he begins to lose the grip on that spell, and the shadows around you start becoming like violent and angry as they like slap against the floor and they slap against the wall, and one of them just like tries and almost slaps against your cheek and leaves a bloody red line. That's like 1 point of damage. But that's semantics.
Okay. Alright, she will, as soon as is physically possible, she will cast a Cure Wounds onto that wound.
Okay, what level are you going for?
She's going to cast it, she's going to attempt to cast it at, 5th level.
5th level. Roll me that.
And then she'll see how this goes, because depending on how this goes, she may do something else right afterwards. Okay. I'll roll it out. This will be... Let me get my d8s out. It's 7 plus... 6, which is 13 plus 16, 26 points.
The wound stops hemorrhaging, deepens to just an inch or two.
Okay.
Alright, shallows to an inch or two.
Okay, but it's not bleeding out or anything
and you
like that.
stand there No longer bleeding out. Not so profusely. You think you'll need more medical attention later, but for now.
Okay.
Neff, you stand there with the knife in your hand. These shadows kind of whipping the ground, and they calm slightly. And as you pull out the knife, we're going to change perspectives a little bit.
Because there is something that Neff wants to do later. I mean, her intention right now is she's going to try to help move Slee up with the help of the servants to a medical place, like a hospital or some sort of ward, to prevent her body from decaying too much.
Okay.
It's a nice palace.
Yeah, you should be alright. Neff, if you wanted to, you could just really quickly, before you
and if you're supposed to
approach Droll, you could have explained in a few words, go to the body, to the servants, help me, or something along those lines. I'll allow that. That would have been enough. With your persuasion check being 27.
There's one quick thing I want to do as well, if I'm allowed to. That body that's behind Jarrell, am I allowed to investigate that really quickly or no? You said it's a prey attire, which is...
Give me a very, very quick.
Alright, quick investigation?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty good. Okay, it's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20? You've never seen this body before. You don't know anyone who looks like this, so you can be sure it's not someone you know.
Okay, that's...
They look like they were killed by Jarrell.
Okay.
But as a medic, you can tell there's another sort of sickness, or was at least very recently, another sickness sort of ailing them.
Okay.
But they are dead.
Alright, then she'll head back to go get Slee.
Changing perspectives slightly. You are all enjoying the party.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think Cass has left.
Oh, yeah, no, don't worry. We're going to get to that. Just give me a second.
Okay.
You're all enjoying the party in your own way. What was that, Anna?
I dropped a die and it landed on 1 on the ground.
Oh, that's not an omen. You're all enjoying the party in your own ways, drinking, dancing, talking with friends and allies. Cass, you and Freya finish your conversation that you started last game and decide to head and find a very quiet place. Where do you have in mind?
I think they would go to their chambers, and I feel like as a poignant sort of, I think as they're going, they're sort of when two people are sneaking away from a party, they've had some serious chats, but they're quite happy, and they're kind of giggling because they're
yeah,
goodbye, and they've snuck off. So they're the epitome of this is a great night. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. But we're heading to our chambers, yeah.
I get you completely.
The last thing Lauren said to Allstar was, let's have a good night and stop worrying now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and literally the last thing Cass said to Freya was let's not let the paranoia consume us.
This is so good for everyone's mental health. And Slea's physical health.
Mental health? What is that? Cass, you and Freya giggling, intoxicated on the party atmosphere, the alcohol as well. Just now, I guess, shaking your etherealism. Back in your corporeal forms. You make your way towards the tower. And as you head through the Ice Palace, you get the impression that something is not quite right. There aren't so many people here, and those that are standing in groups.
Someone's ringing the doorbell.
God damn it!
Shall I wait for you to come back? Yeah. Give it a sec.
Right,
So
I'm
how
going
are
to
we
take this
feeling?
note.
Anyone needs a loo break?
I'm all good.
I do. So
Okay. I'm feeling. I mean, I'm glad Neff, as a first responder, really was there. Medic. That's good.
Yeah.
This small little halfling attempting to carry Slayer.
All good? Okay.
Neph's just crying throughout this entire ordeal. Just constant stream of tears. How can one halfling hold so much water?
Scientists are baffled. That's so... How can one half?
Yeah, this is a oh my god, what a way to begin the session. Oh my god.
We haven't had a session start like this for a while, you know?
I cannot express to you the shock that I felt when I was at work on my like little trip to the loo and back, when I just scrolled through the messenger chat to see that Slee had died at the session. I was like, oh my god.
Aww. That's been a bit far.
I was all weird and weepy for the rest of my shift. Too emotional.
Oh no!
Melly, come here.
Can Neff hold this much water? I don't know what this means.
I don't know anything about Pokemon, I'm sorry.
There were like the non-shiny cards that a friend of a friend gave to me on like a trivia night.
Oh, okay.
He was opening up various packs of things. He was like, "Do you want these? I don't want these." And I'm like, "Sure."
Nice.
That means they're probably bad.
Come here.
I don't plan on using them. I have just gotten into like the start of playing Magic the Gathering, so that'll be the card game that I'll focus on.
I play Magic the Gathering as a step which I'm not ready to take. I feel like that's just...
It's very involved. It's fun. I want to keep at it. Certainly it's expensive. Like yes. So we sorry, we're all back.
No, it's okay, it's okay. I got the impression it would be an expensive hobby. Right, so Cass, you see people kind of huddled together. I need to start I have a timer going, so I don't know how long we play for. So that I can keep on track, you know? It's like, you know, like people have like Fitbits. I've got like a D&D, like, I don't know. So, Cass, you see people are kind of huddled together at the edges of the corridor that lead towards the party. You're not the only person by any stretch who has decided to retire early or look for somewhere quiet. And increasingly, as you get closer, you see the common people kind of keeping in groups, kind of huddling towards the walls and talking in like murmured whispers, like, what's going on? And you get the impression that this has only been happening from the kind of like the atmosphere and the confusion in the air. People have only just noticed that something is wrong. And you realize as you kind of turn the corner that as a kind of like a winding sort of like wrapping around corridor that would open and widen up into sort of the atrium near the throne room towards Allstairs quarters. You realise that something is not right. As you just see like a swirling kind of like wall of shadow just wrapping around Allstairs stairs and kind of like spreading out from that.
As soon as I see that, I think I'd send my familiar back to the party and I'd be like, get Brian. And then I just start running.
You rush forwards, and it strikes you that the first thing people are seeing, and the thing people might even be reacting to without knowing what's beyond that wall of smoke, is what you encounter when you take your first couple of steps through. Running forwards, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Not my strong suit, I will tell you now. Oh,
Not good?
dude, that is so bad. A 6.
A 6.
No.
Your foot collides with something on the floor and you just go head over heels flat onto the ground. And as you're falling, you hear something or someone scrambling up behind you. And you turn to look, but there's a force kind of on your chest. And as you're kind of like helping yourself back up after falling, because you do recover quickly, even though you fall hard, you are slammed back down. A knife is pulled and a tuft of your clothing is kind of held in a very small hand.
Oh.
And the knife is bloody. And you see Valus, just like his hand shaking, crouched over you, just like gripping onto your shirt. His eyes still have like the crust of sleep in them. And you have enough lucidity and like a moment to sort of look back over what you tripped on, and you see the body of the second opponent position with multiple stab wounds.
Coral would be so proud.
Have I stabbed?
What did you say, sorry?
I might switch off Sirenscape. I think it's affecting my internet. Give me a second. It's a shame because I like the atmospheric music, but let's see if that's better. Have I been stabbed, or is Valus just like on me?
No. Valus is like holding the knife at you. Behind you, where you fell over, there's a body that has been stabbed. And it is wearing a praying clothing. You can kind of like see that much just from a glimpse. And Valus is like, you're back flat on your back, and Valus is crouched above you.
Okay. I think Cass is like instinctively quite panicked, and she just sort of, but she knows not to like. She's taught Valus enough to like to stab if needed, so she's just sort of like, Valus, what's happened?
As you say that, you kind of put your hands up. He realizes it's you, and his like shaking hand just kind of unclenches, and the knife just kind of scatters across the ground. And he says nothing, but he just points into the shadows deeper and sort of slowly clambers off you. We're going to get back to what you do next. In the party, Ulster.
Yeah.
You and Loran are dancing over the floor. Bluey, you're continuing your bopping in the Apraean dance circle. And as you're just getting back into the swing of things, you're familiar. What is it taking the form of? A raven?
Yeah, it's a raven. And I imagine, like, because obviously it can't communicate with Brian unless Brian casts a spell, I think it would just, like, be at Brian's face, like,
Yeah. The raven just immediately squawking. It cuts right through the music, and it kind of comes to a stop as the raven just kind of, like, squawks. Like,
also, will hold up his hand for it to land.
It taps its feet on you. It taps its claws, like its talons, on your arm, and then starts kind of like trying to fly towards the door again, just like as if to say, as if to convey what Cass wants.
I think Ulster will freeze up mid-dance, and he's going to look first for Lucas, if he can find him.
Lucas was previously dancing with Daniel, but at the sound of the raven, he also, you get the impression, has sensed something is not quite right, and is making his way over to you. Daniel looks confused behind him.
Ulster will kick off both his heels so he can walk faster, and he'll walk over to Lucas.
Yeah. Ulster.
You need to secure this room. Make sure no one leaves.
And you?
I'm going to find Cass. And he'll start walking out. As he goes, he'll also try to make eye contact with his parents, if he can.
Sure. And Bluey?
Or if Blue would be able to recognize that that's Cass's Raven, and I think she would have looked over.
He'll walk past Bluey and grab her as well. And Sarah's. He's pulling all of them out.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. She might sort of then go to like reach for like pull her dart out, ready to like say the thing. Yeah.
Hold on, let me just check Ulster can do this. As they leave, how big is this space?
The room, I always find this really hard. It's a very large, like, kind of courtyard. Probably about...
Could it be within
100 by 70?
100 by 70. Okay, Ulster will cast a 5th level spell that I have on a separate spell sheet called Druid Grove over the entrance, trying to get as many people in it as possible.
Okay.
So as they leave, it will be a protection spell.
Yeah.
He will have... Which effects up will he have? He will have solid fog obscuring the area to stop anyone from coming in. He will have the Entangle spell ready to trap any intruders. And he'll have Grove Guardians around that area as well.
Okay.
So basically, if people try to come in, I'll tell you what effects that would trigger, but they have to be enemies entering the area.
How long does that spell take to cast?
I'm pretty sure it's...
Do you want me to look it up?
I've got it up. Hold on. Lasts for 24 hours.
It'll be just in the casting time.
It doesn't say.
Wait, I'll find it for you. Druid Grove?
Yeah. I mean, I've got it up, but it doesn't have the casting time.
That's okay. I can find it on
Because I don't have
It's 10 minutes casting time.
Shit. Okay. 10 minutes casting time. In which case, he won't do that. Scratch that.
Okay.
He's just going to keep walking, and I think he'll just his dress is very easy to remove. He'll just throw that to the floor as he goes.
Okay. Underneath you have, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's got his armor.
Trousers. Yeah. Loran pulls his sort of silken shirt that he'd shoved out of his pocket and passes it to you, so you're a bit more covered up. He says, it's not armor, but it's something.
Also is just walking. Well, more like walking very fast.
The 4 of you, Bluey, Sarazar, Ulster, Loran, make your way out of the throne room just as Lucas starts commanding his people, and quickly to action, they are summoning people from the corridor back into the into the courtyard, and manning the exits. You see druids, your mother included, beginning to sort of like manipulate the ice, the snow around to kind of cover the ceiling, which was previously quite open, preventing anything coming from above. And the atmosphere has changed very quickly from jovial to confused and ready. Most people here have seen some kind of violence in their lives. They are not necessarily caught unawares, but they weren't expecting this. And also, as you leave, you kind of catch Kev's eye, and he looks concerned and almost makes a step to follow you.
Also shakes his head. He just keeps going.
You guys keep moving. Bluey, is there anything you want to do, anything you want to say or look out for?
What's happened? Was that Cass's bird?
It's Cass's raven.
Okay. It spirals around your head as well, Bluey, and just kind of like flaps forward. And from here, there are very few kind of offshoots to other places. You go up a set of stairs leading you from like the lower level where this party is. There is a smaller hallway which leads off to kitchens to one side, guest chambers to another.
Can I say something as we go?
Yeah.
I think Ulster is following the raven, and he's very focused on it. But as he goes, he says, if there's any intruders in the palace, I want them captured. They can't have an easy execution. And he keeps going. He's assuming it's Elijah or someone, I think. He looks very ready.
His Blue will say the little command word, bonus action, draconic, up or something like that. So the dart is ready to attack with.
Yeah. You have I say you will have your whistle dart. And Loran has his greatsword, has the greatsword at his back, and I don't think he even tries to take it out of the sheath. He just unbuckles it and passes it over to you.
Does Sarza have a sword on him?
Sarza wouldn't have come unprepared. He doesn't go anywhere without one. But that's what living a life of fear will do to you. So you guys make your way through, and you see a similar scene. Most people now have moved through back to the courtyard, but some still cower in corners and hide behind pillars and archways. And when you get to the main level of the Ice Palace, and you see the kind of corridor begin to bend around towards the throne room and the atrium that lies before it, you see shadows begin to kind of like pool in, like volcanic ash spreading from an eruption. And your vision is impaired. You can see about 15 feet in front of you, and that goes for you as well.
Someone's ringing the doorbell.
Oh my god, would you mind doing this? Yeah. That goes for you as well, Cass. So you guys have like limited vision.
Fun, fun, fun. We should really just give these guys a key. We should just give them a key.
Sorry, it's okay. You just... Yeah.
I assume Loran's great sword that he's passed me is just a regular great sword, even if it's.
I think it's a regular.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you need us to do?
No.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. I just turned the music down. Can you still hear the music, or is it too quiet?
I can vaguely hear
Okay,
you.
let's do this.
Right. Just give me one sec.
Blue will also like get the sheath of equip the great sword.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So you have. Is there anything else you guys want to prepare before you kind of move forward?
I mean, if a check is like a perception, if we're now in the.
Yeah, I think a perception check going forward would probably be
Sure.
good for you guys to navigate your way through.
24.
Okay.
No, 25, because I think I have plus 11 now.
25. Plus 11.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I do have plus 11.
15.
15, okay. So, Bluey, it's harder for you to kind of move your way through. Ulster, as usual, you're able to kind of find the right path very quickly. You recognize these shadows to be stemming from one central point. And I mean, you've seen this kind of magic before, and you get the impression that this is Gerald.
Okay.
Gerald's doing. As you move through, Cass, can you just remind me what you were planning on doing in the moments before the others arrived?
I think Cass would put her hand to her lips and tell Valis in a whisper, "I need you to hide." And then she would trust that he did it, because then she would start making her way for.
I need you to make me a persuasion check before.
And she will have summoned to her hand one of her weapons. Yes, I can certainly do so.
What weapon are you summoning?
I have a sacred bond to my.
Oh my god! Of course,
magic
so
sphere,
old. Yeah.
Called. That is a 30.
Oh my god! Valis looks like he wants to shake his head and say no, but he
literally can't.
Literally can't. His idea of hiding, however, is going to be this. He moves sort of like, oh, this is fine.
That sounds you're not meant to hear.
So scary. He moves, out of the fog. And I'll resolve that in a second. So, Cass, from your perspective, I'm freaked out because there's like a crack in the ceiling. I think it's okay, yeah. They wouldn't do anything about it, but so no, because I'm like right underneath it. You'll be fine. Cass, so you proceed. Valis disappears. Cass, what are you doing?
I guess probably rolling a perception to try and figure out what's going on, where my friends are, who's here, that sort of.
You're a bit ahead of the others.
Oh my god. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
So 28.
28, okay. So, again, you're a little bit ahead of the others. You would expect them not to be here for a minute or two at least.
When I say my friends, I'm not talking about the ones that I asked my raven to get. I'm talking about like Neff, Sleer, that sort of vibe.
Sure. The first person that you come across is Jaral, and everything that I described before is still in action. However, at the center of this sort of like magic, the shadows are more and more unstable, increasingly so, and they're whipping back and forth so much so that it's hard for you to move through them. And Jaral is at the center of that, and he previously looked like, or actually no, from your perspective, it looks like he might still be bleeding out, because there's just blood all over his front, through his clothes, and there is a stab wound just like ripped at the top of his shirt, which is still open at the front. And you see, no longer suspended in air, because the pain of pulling the sword out was enough to sort of disrupt it. You see Sinestre, Sleer's aunt, like collapsed on the floor, and she looks on the verge of death, at least. And Jaral is still just like holding her there, like with his magic, sort of like causing her eyes to sort of like just sort of swim with these shadows.
Do I see anything else with a natural 20?
You would notice the body as well, the other body with the black sort of like shadows, like kind of like boiling over its mouth and like through its eye cavities. You get the impression that Jaral has already finished off on that one. With a natural 20, you get the impression that Jaral did not pull this knife out himself. The wound, the exit wound, and the fact that it is healed compared to the amount of blood gives you the impression that it has been healed. So that Neff, that means either Sleer or Neff can't be far behind.
Okay.
So
I
pausing there,
would,
because your Wi-Fi is actually a little bit. I'll go back to the other group. Yeah. Okay. Ulster, Bluey. As you sort of like begin to push into this darkness, you see a person emerging. I'd say just before you properly went into it. the small figure of Valus, covered in blood. You can tell it's not his own.
Also, will crouch down and just look into Valus's eyes. Can I insight check him?
Sure.
18.
He looks almost absent from his own mind. Like he's like disassociated, you think?
I'll look behind me at Saraza.
Saraza just nods.
And I'll just gently pass Valus on to him.
He like, despite him like being covered in blood, and I think he would still be holding. I think he would have picked up the knife before he ran off.
Where's Jarrell? And Ulster will just go into the shadow. He won't even wait to hear the answer.
Valus doesn't say anything. He just points. And Saraza will wait on the outside. And Bluey, I think, maybe a perception check, because I think you'd probably be the most sort of like aware of your surroundings, not focused on the darkness here.
Are you kidding me? Jeez. I did think this before. Okay, so brief foresight involves doing something in the morning.
Yes.
And kind of seeing a vision. And me as a player, I don't know what that vision is because I call, whatever.
Yeah.
Could I say that I did this in the morning and can still use this power without the sword because I know what the vision is? Or no?
Because I've allowed people to have I've allowed people to sort of retcon small things in, which makes sense for their character. I think that makes sense for your character. You basically start every day with 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
In which
Make sure you tell me. Don't forget. But
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
I'm going to mark off brief foresight and hope that I just roll a bit more. I don't know. I would like to know. I could take this now. I could just
also,
take
to
this
sort of respond
now.
to your thing about the visions, just because I think that's an interesting way of putting it. I feel like it's something that you don't realise it in the moment, but when it happens and you use the role, it's like a sense of deja vu. I think it's kind of a good way to put a feeling on it. Like a vision, like you've seen this before, like vibes. But yeah.
Okay. I'm going to roll the dice now, but I might not use it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll just save that for later. It's a 9, by the way. I mean, without us. Anyway. Okay, so perception is 13.
13. Into the shadow, it's very difficult for you to navigate. But you already kind of rolled a little bit of a higher one earlier to sort of ensure that you'd be able to follow at least Ulster. This roll instead more kind of gives you an idea of the surroundings, the atmosphere outside of that. The sort of smoke just before you enter into this part of the palace, whilst you're sort of about 5 foot deep into it, enough so that you can still see out, see the brightness of the corridor behind you, see the very few people who are gathered there and staring into this kind of just chaos. When Sarazo takes Valus out, they look at him as if they might have thought it was him doing this. But when they see him exit from the shadows and nothing change, they look back with almost increased fear, because now they have no idea what's going on, and they scarper very quickly. You guys are essentially, unless there's anybody else hiding in the fog deeper into the rooms, alone.
Okay. It's very confusing.
Sorry, it's hard to describe, but you know that you were all alone.
Also, trying to find Jarrell.
Very, very confusing.
Sure.
And Blue will be trying her best to keep sight on Brian, moving after him.
You're lucky his hair's white.
Yeah, you can follow him through. I think that Loran would sort of just having his wits about him, click his fingers and sort of just have a flame going in the palm of his hand. Just something that you can use as a beacon should you get separated. and you guys keep going. It doesn't take you long to cross this floor at all. It's only a little bit longer than usual considering how dark it is and the fact that you need to take caution as you move. Very quickly, you come across the next body and you start to see the epicenter of all of this. And again, you see the same thing that Cass would have seen. Cass, where are you as your friends arrive?
You see her about to attack Sinestre. Cass hasn't seen Celia yet, has she?
No.
Okay.
I will also add then, actually, I just something I overlooked is Freya would have been one of the people sort of like standing on the edge, though she would not have been scared. She would have been waiting and looking in after Cass, you think, giving you an idea that Cass would be in there for you to find. So, all of you now reunited, you see Dural and Sinestre and a burnt out sort of husk of a body.
Is Dural still casting?
You look like he is. It looks like he's struggling to maintain the concentration. The shock of pain is just kind of like destabilizing him. And those shadows are still quite dangerous. And Cass, if you're going all the way up to Sinestre, I'm going to just need you to make me another dexterity saving throw.
I don't need to get close to her because I would attack her with my javelin, which has a range.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said tap, not attack.
Are you attacking Sinestre? Because I think also might stop you, if possible. If he sees you.
Okay, so what we'll do then is, because Cass got there first, Cass, you'll get one attack in, and then you'll see the others, and you can change what you want to do if you sort of are able to sort of get the vibes. So, do you want to make an attack?
Yeah.
Just one.
I do. Yeah. Well,
actually, I'm sorry. I interrupted myself. You need to make that dexterity saving throw. Wait, you don't need to be close. You don't need to be close. How far away are you? Roughly.
Well,
sorry, I'm just trying to get all of the pieces in.
I'm right. I would say yeah, of course. I would say that I reached Dural and I'm like I basically got to Dural, turned around, saw him with Sinestre, and I've decided to attack her. How far Sinestre was from Dural, but that would be how far.
He's about 5 foot away on the floor. So you're in close range. 5 to 10 feet away. So I'm going to say that you will have to make that dexterity save if you're going to go closer.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Right, so I probably wouldn't move closer. Oh, that is very good. That would be a 29 to hit
29, yeah.
On my first attack.
No, dexterity save. Sorry, dexterity.
Oh, I thought that was only if I move closer. Sorry, I'm a bit confused.
If you're going to be... Sorry, I'm a bit confused. Are you attacking her from a close range, or are you moving away from Dural to do a ranged weapon attack with your javelin? Because if you're doing a melee attack, then you're going to have to make a dexterity save.
You can also just stab him. Right, okay. I'll do
javelin makes me think
with the
range,
javelin.
which is why I'm thinking you might want to...
She's also on the floor.
It can be range and reach. So as a
Okay, to simplify it, I'm just going to say the shadows are like almost reaching you, and with a 29, you would have hit. So if you want to roll damage for one attack, I'll allow that. And then from this point onwards, if you get any closer, you're just going to have to make dexterity saves.
Okay, that's fine.
So I think we were talking across purposes a little bit.
Yep.
Oh, so many dice.
Those are some fucking shite rolls.
Oh.
Give me a second. But then maybe that's good if Brian doesn't want her to attack. Hang on. Okay, give me a second. I need to. Sweet, and then. Sorry. Give me 5 seconds.
That's okay. Because you hit, I'm just going to describe what they see. All stare, Bluey. As you just kind of like come across this scene of Gerard standing there, you just come into sight of Sinestre. The moment you take that final step and your vision spreads there, you see on the other side of Sinestre, Cass unleash this like javelin.
Also, it's like no.
It's the javelin of lightning, isn't it?
Yeah. 37.
37. There's just a lightning bolt, just like electrified, spreads through the smoke and lights up the room for a second. A split second long enough. Everybody make me a perception check except Cass. So just Bluey and Stare.
27.
Not around. Bluey, what did you get?
19.
Long enough for you to see the blood on the stairs. Neff, where have you moved the body?
Why do you have to say it like that? I'm hiding the body. No, I'm trying to find. I'm getting the servants there to help me find a sort of a medical bay or like a ward or something.
You get the impression one of the bedrooms up the spiral staircase would probably be the best option right now, considering there is a chaos shadow fight happening in the in blocking your exit.
Okay, I will go there then.
So you start pulling your way upstairs, and
I like to imagine that we're kind of just carrying Slia like, you know, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves right now.
Brynja's gonna see this.
More than 10 minutes has passed. Neff, as you carry the
No.
As you carry the body upstairs with the servants helping you, do you have the knife or did you leave it downstairs?
No, the knife is put away. I have it on me, but it's not. I'm still dressed as a pirate. Oh,
God,
no.
that's such a horrifying backdrop to this. Okay.
I forgot about that. Oh my god, that's flavoring this in a very spicy way. She has the sword, but it's not equipped.
You
Speaking
hold
of
the dagger.
what kind of? Am I adding anything to my inventory? What kind of a sword is it?
It's. I mean, I feel like Sinestre would have honed her disguise to approximate something similar to the shape and size of what Picotaro gave Ulster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a short sword.
Okay.
And
yep.
That's all you know so far.
Okay, there is one other thing that can I say that I would have retroactively maybe done before carrying Slia up the staircase and stuff.
Okay, you would have had time considering you're the first person there.
Alright,
These look like a matcha latte.
Could I maybe have applied some bandages or something like that, because there's a lot of big wounds?
You just don't have anything like that on you, I think. But you could rip parts of your clothing off if you wish to.
Alright.
To sort of make something.
100%.
Okay, you would have fit in through the bottom of your shirt. Halfling sizes, there's not a lot to work with, but you can just block the wound in the best way you know how.
Okay, I'll do that.
You carry that upstairs and you're sort of like labouring it up the steps and it's taking a long time, which is how I think all of this matches up. Cass, your strike hits. The room is illuminated. Everyone else, you see blood on the stairs. No body. But then from above you, loud and clear, you hear a Neff. You look up in time to see the loudest, most broken scream that you haven't heard since Loran died. And everyone else, you don't know whether it's Neff or Slia, but it's a woman's scream, and the scream of someone who's just lost something, and you get the impression that it's Phrynia.
Can we act now?
Yeah. I'll have you guys make initiative. Roll initiative so that we have an order of combat.
Okay, even if I was reacting to Cass, I don't get that reaction.
You would have that sort of moment of, if you were shouting something to her, I think you said you were going to sort of...
He would have said no when Cass lashed out at...
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Sexy.
Ooh.
19.
Hang on, back.
Okay, I think as soon as, because I think Cass would have, as like flavor, but I think because she gets to attack, so you'd have seen her like stab with the javelin, like lift up to go, but as soon as Brian say no, she like stops and holds. But she's like ready to go, but she is holding.
Okay. So, Ulster, you got...
Natural 20.
Cass?
19 Cass got.
Altogether 19.
I don't know.
Okay,
19.
sure. Thomas?
I'm also rolling. Okay.
Yeah, everyone is rolling initiative.
Oh, natural 20!
Okay, what's your dexterity between the two of you?
Probably Neff might be higher.
Oh, well,
he also has a +1.
Does the initiative modifier matter? Because
Yeah.
it'd be a 22 on my end. Maybe Brian might be
Yeah,
higher.
Neff has one more than Ulster.
Louis, what did you
Wait,
roll?
does Brian only have 1 plus to initiative?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
Ulster's not a melee fighter.
sorry, it's all I've known. It's all I've known.
I'll fight you.
It's all okay.
All I know. Well, you know what I know? I can do 80 damage in one hit, Bluey, with a spell. I don't need to raise a finger.
Brian goes
I know,
and bites
I
another
know.
player.
I'll tell you, actually. I'm a warcaster.
Bluey, I rolled a 1 on the dice, which means Bluey has a 6.
Oh, it's all you know.
But if you roll a natural 1, isn't it just
What's
natural 1?
No,
Well,
not initiative.
I don't think it applies to initiative, no.
Wait, actually, before we start any kind of combat, I need to actually look this roll up again, because natural 20...
You have mad high initiative.
Yeah,
I'm
just
with
so you
Brian
guys
on
know,
mine. Measly +1.
a natural 20 equals an automatic hit with damage for like an attack. But
Is it like homebrew for skill checks?
and for
Not
saving
all.
throws as well.
Okay.
But for your saving throws, for example, they don't apply as an automatic success. I think that's pretty much what it is. Natural 20 is a critical success, only affecting attack rolls and death saving throws. So even if an enemy gets a natural 20 on their saving throw, that doesn't mean you're going to be, like, your spell isn't going to take effect, potentially, depending on your modifier. Anyway, that's just something I always need to clear up for myself. So, Cass, what did you get? 17?
19.
19, sorry.
19.
Louis, you got...
6.
Oh. And Slea's not in initiative, so it goes around. I'll roll for
Cyrus with...
Also,
Yeah, just
if
so
you
that I know
refer
where
to her
the...
as the body
I know it's not
again,
here, just so that I
my
know
heart
what
will
hands are.
break.
I'm going to continue.
Okay. Can I have a cuddle? No. What? No! I'm so
Oh
upset.
no.
I'm so sad.
This is what happens when you kill beloved characters.
But I always want to cuddle.
Cuddles become ration.
No cuddles. I'm sad. Immediately. Oh, goodness me. So. How's my Duke? First in the order is Neff. Neff, you look up at the sound of this like scream and you see Farinia standing over you from the steps above, holding onto the wall and holding her stomach. And she's just exhausted, but making her way downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Gently put Slia down.
At Farinia's feet.
If there's like a bed or something, somewhere.
You guys are still making your way up the stairs. It's taking a long time considering.
Okay, I can.
That,
how many feet away is the bed? Or like
probably about 15 feet.
50 feet? Okay, I can move that amount of feet easily. So I would like to make my way over it.
Just the first room that you find on the way up, you put her into.
I'll gently place her down.
Okay. That's your movement. Do you want to cast any spells?
Is putting Slia down an action, or does that not count?
Putting Slia down.
I call that interacting with an object, which is a free action.
Okay.
No!
Emma!
Emma!
I'm just using the rules of the game!
Wow.
How dare you?
Wow.
How dare you? Okay.
Alien's having a good time.
Okay, in that case, can I cast Mending a little bit? Because I'm interacting with an object, apparently. Hold on. Okay, I can't do this. Okay, can I use my action this turn to make maybe a medicine check and use that then to figure out how best to approach from here in terms of like keeping Slia's body in as best a condition as it possibly can be? Because none of my healing spells will do anything.
Let me just check. Make me a medicine check, yeah.
Wait, hold on. How long ago... Oh, okay. There is something that I'm looking for as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, sure. I want to know how long ago Slia might have died.
Less than an hour.
Less than an hour, okay. Okay. 21 medicine check.
Yes.
Is that what you wanted to know?
Oh, you want me to tell you more?
Oh, if there's anything else, please do.
Okay. You get the impression that the best medical tool you could look for in this moment is a diamond worth about 500 gold pieces that the spell would consume.
Yeah.
In order to bring Smith back to life.
I do have...
Go into Ulster's room.
The reason I ask is because Neff does have...
Yeah, there is a royal bedchamber right there.
Yeah, Neff does have Revivify, but it needs a diamond.
Go into Ulster's room.
The spell you'd be looking at, Revivify won't work in this case.
Okay.
Because it's been more than a minute. The spell you're looking at is Raise Dead.
Raise Dead.
You know that from your medical check, I would say.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I need to look for a diamond.
Okay, so you can make your way up to Ulster's room. You have about 15 foot of movement left, so you can make it to the door.
Actually, I have 20 feet of movement because I'm a little bit
Oh god,
fast.
you're halfway. You have 20 feet of movement left, so you could get in the door.
I'd like to get in the door.
From this stairwell. Yeah, okay, you are opening the door of Ulster's bedroom. Next in the order is Ulster.
Okay. Ulster, is Sinestri conscious?
It actually looks like she might not be, but she's still within her, like she's still alive.
Okay.
And her eyes are wide open, and she still has that contorted kind of screaming expression.
Ulster will... Hold on, I just want to see how long this lasts. Ulster will look between Dural and Cass, who I think are going to be in range of this, and he's just going to say, "This won't hurt." And he's going to cast Entangle over the area that Sinestri is in to completely bind her to the floor. And she should automatically fail, I think.
Yep, she is prone. and she is not quite capacitated. So
yeah, he's completely focused on her. He hasn't looked up towards the scream. He's not.
okay. The ground erupts with what kind of flower? What kind of vine?
I like to think that they'd be made of ice, but they'd be twisting like actual vines.
Okay. Twisting, kind of just like arms of ice that kind of clamp over like teeth and keep Sinistra in place.
Cass and Joel can make a save if you want.
Yeah. You two will make a saving throw. So Cass, make me. Is it
What
dexterity
save is
saving?
it?
It's a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw.
It won't hurt them. It does get them.
17.
17.
You both are captured.
Oh no! I was repeating on. I got 13.
You're both captured.
Oh, yeah, 13. So you are both trapped in the ice, unable to move. Gerald.
Is it my go? Is it?
No, it's Gerald's go.
What did Gerald roll?
20.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Lisa got some good high initiative. I'm sorry, Blue.
Sorry, Blue.
That is okay. More than okay. So,
Okay, because it's playing.
with Gerald's action, he lowers his hand, and you see the shadows kind of like swimming behind Sinestro's eyes kind of disappear. And as they withdraw, like fingers coming out of her mind, she finally started to scream. A scream which kind of just like trails off into like a panting howl, and then silence. Gerald won't save from the ice, but he starts to whisper something in under his breath, I think, in a language which resembles Undercommon.
I can speak Undercommon.
I don't want to. I want to leave it up to your interpretation of it, kind of what he says for this, because this is a magical effect. But he like stares her dead in the eyes. She kind of looks up at up at him and up at you, all staring Cass, like kind of almost like mouth just kind of like unable to clench, just like trembling. And he just starts speaking to her in a quiet, sort of whispery voice, which begins to fill the room, and it fills your ears and begins to sort of like rattle, just kind of like in your chest. Ooh, that might actually save. Oh, -1. And she looks at Gerald dead in the eye as his words of terror frighten her beyond belief, and she is scrambling as hard as she can. She is frightened and will be for an hour. And Gerald does nothing else. Cass, it's your go.
I think Cass would look upwards at where the screen was, but isn't quite sure what to do. She could obviously teleport out, but I think, does Drow still look injured?
Yes, he has still got a wound in his chest.
She will reach out, and I feel like she hasn't cast this before, so I feel like she doesn't realize that she can. But I think for a bit of flavor, obviously, I took this feat, and I'm gonna directly after we leveled up, which is when she ate from the Fae.
Yeah.
Well, so I feel like she's gonna reach out and just want him to feel better, and she casts Cure Wounds for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "What the fuck?" Like, I did something that didn't hurt. So let me roll you some healing. Nice. 13.
13. Okay. Amazing. Aww. Aylin, are you having a good time? Thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
Cass, you see Gerald's wound begin to sort of knit together, and you get the impression that he is stable for now. He just looks bad and is shaken. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Yeah, I think now that he's okay, she might cast like a look at Sinestre, but realize that she is beneath her, literally, and then look to Gerald and just be like, "What happened?"
No, that's fine. And also, just to add a little bit of flavour to the cure runes, I think that it would be definitely akin to your Fey magic, so the pink sort of like spiral would kind of sort of sparkle and drift across, and it seems almost too sweet and too like nice for the surroundings as it sort of knits his skin back together from like each fleshy fibre inwards out. Next in the order is Loran. Pardon me. I just get his sheet up because I don't plan ahead. There you go. Loran will look down at her and he'll just say, "Why don't we take this somewhere a little more private?" And he's going to start casting, it'll take a bit longer, he's going to start casting his mansion, the door beginning to kind of open. The idea being that you can take this out of the eyes of the court and to somewhere where Sinestre cannot escape. Bluey, what are you doing in all of this?
Okay, I think so. Sinestre looks kind of entangled.
I know.
I think remembering the pool of blood, she'll kind of look Brian, Loran, and Cass and Gerald like in the eyes as she kind of moves towards the staircase.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah. And I think she'll dash.
Okay. You start running up the stairs as quick as you can, almost taking them 3 at a time. I think with this one round, I can sort of surmise what the energy in the room is with this. On Sinestre's turn, she does nothing. She lies there still, and just closes her eyes. No response to what you're saying. Nothing at all.
So you know she can't kill herself because she's bound up.
I know. And she opens her mouth. And you see her just kind of flick one of her teeth.
Bring her back if she kills herself.
That's fine. As one of them just pops into her throat and she swallows. Why are you looking at me like that? We're bringing her back to life as soon as she's dead. That's fine. Poison just kind of frothing up, spilling over her lips. And her body just goes still.
Man.
And you guys are no longer in initiative.
Cool, I cast heal on Sinestro.
Hang on a second, you're not here.
Yes, I am.
No, you're cooking your food.
I'm here.
I'm going to get to the stuff upstairs first, and then I'll... Neff.
Mm-hmm.
You are at Allstairs' door, and you are looking for a diamond.
Yep.
Make me an investigation check.
Investigating for a diamondo. It is a 16 investigation.
16.
Mhm.
There's plenty in here that looks like it could be worth hundreds of gold. But I think it would take you a couple of minutes to find something specifically a diamond. You find a diamond ring, which just kind of has like a pebble-sized flat stone on the back, like a very small kind of like gravel pebble. You find a large, like kind of unfinished, like rough cut diamond, not polished at all, but very big. Both of these feel like they could suffice.
Like, as in, the two of them together would combine to the amount, or they're both fitting for the spell?
Either of them, one or the other.
Okay.
One is a ring, and one is a uncut, kind of like large diamond.
Okay. I think Neff would like to make a sort of insight check, or maybe an intelligence check on the two. I mean, she'll lean towards taking the very rough cut diamond, because that looks more like a sort of spell component kind of thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't necessarily want to, poof a ring that might be very important, so she wants to make a check of some sort.
You can do that really quickly, just an intelligence.
Okay. It's not very high, it's a 6.
Well, maybe the ring is the spell component.
Maybe. Okay, she'll look at them both. Could you maybe...
Up to you.
Could you maybe look around the room to see if there's any indication that her natural inclination is to take the chunk of rock.
You can follow your heart.
Neff will follow her heart.
Yeah,
She's taking the
follow it.
unfinished chunk. I think she'll leave the ring if they look like they'll both work.
There you go. Okay, you take the chunk of rock and you bring it back to the room you left Sleia in. Farinia is just stood over her. It's like not touching the corpse. At least not right now, but you see there is blood on the tips of her fingers. You can clearly tell that she was holding her before this.
Okay. Neff is, I think, just going to silently approach. She's not going to say anything, or... She's not going to say anything. She's just going to, I think, do what she thinks she needs to do. And she will walk up to Sleia. With the diamond. Put her hand on her, both hands on Slea's forehead and begin casting.
And I left you some chicken crack. Oh. What was that last bit? Sorry, Thomas?
She'll begin casting. She'll place both hands upon Slea's forehead and start casting. She'll whisper to herself more than anybody else. Raise dead, 5th level.
Give me 1 second.
And this will take an hour.
An hour. Okay.
So she'll be here for a while.
You just start the slow process.
Yeah. Neff will stay there. She's not going to move. And this should close up all the mortal wounds and everything. I don't think Slea's missing any limbs or anything like that from my previous medical checks that I did.
No.
Okay.
Bluey, this is how you find Slea's body. And Neff. You follow the blood trail up into this room and you see Farinia standing over her. And Neff just kind of like pressing a diamond into her chest, and it's slowly, just painfully, slowly seeping into the skin there. Do you have anything you want to say or do?
I think Bluey would kind of be frozen for a bit. And after quite a few seconds, like, we'll notice, I think that Neff is kind of concentrating, is actively doing the spell. I'm not sure she's seen it directly before, but yeah, I think she'd make that inference.
She would have seen Slia casting the same spell on Lorella.
Okay, yeah, the start of it, yeah. And then she was left alone. So yeah, after, and she would start crying, I think, and then would start to sort of slowly move and I guess she want to very quietly ask, like, any other people who were in the room who brought the body up, like, what can I do anything?
No.
I think Neff at this point would notice that Bluey's there, kind of having been concentrating on the spell. Bluey. Hello. Where are the others?
Downstairs.
Bring them.
Okay. And Blue will go back down. She doesn't know that Sinestro killed herself.
Not for long.
That thought of Lorella being revived gave me like a big shiver down my spine. That was I don't know, it feels intense.
Mute it 1 sec.
Oh.
How is Raise Dead different to Revivify? Like,
Revivify doesn't cure large wounds and things like that.
Revivify only works if you get there within 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Raise Dead works within 10 days.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, apart from like spell component and how long they take, are they the same essentially?
Pretty much.
Okay.
It is going to take multiple days for recovery from death, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Revivify is kind of like, if you die right then and there, then you can kind of be like, oh, nope, and make sure you're okay, but Raise Dead will take a lot longer. I can read the spell if you want, because maybe not everybody has this spell. It says...
If you guys are you going to read the spell?
I'll just read it out, so this is it.
It'll take 1 minute and a half in the microwave if you want.
Okay, the Raise Dead spell, which takes an hour, has a range area of touch, and requires a 500 gold diamond. Okay. You raise a dead creature you touch to life, provided that it has been dead no longer than 10 days, if the creature's soul is both willing and at liberty to rejoin the body. Actually, I didn't forget to check. Slee, are you willing to and at liberty to return to your body?
I think the second one we have to ask the DM.
Okay.
Pretty sure you can.
The creature returns to life with 1 hit point. This will be at the end of the spell. The spell also neutralizes any poisons and cures non-magical diseases that affected the creature at the time it died, which is not the case with Revivify. I think with Revivify you're still under any effects that you would have been under otherwise. The spell doesn't, however, remove magical diseases, curses, or similar effects. If these aren't first removed prior to casting, they take effect when the creature returns to life. The spell can't return an undead creature to life. This spell closes all mortal wounds, but it doesn't restore any missing body parts. If the creature is lacking body parts or organs integral for its survival, for example its head, the spell automatically fails. Coming back from the dead is an ordeal. The target takes a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. Every time the target finishes a long rest, the penalty is reduced by 1 until it disappears. So it'll be four nights of recovery. Or 4 long rests of recovery.
Just sleep for a solid 32 hours.
Just a really long sleep.
Done with.
God.
Look, being dead really takes it out of you.
Leah's going to be out of commission for 4 days, basically.
It's fine. We can keep Sinestro alive long enough for Slayer. It's fine. It's great.
I'm like barely containing myself. It's very emotional.
Yes. How are you doing, Aelin?
I'm good.
If it makes you feel any better, we're gonna get revenge.
Wasn't even worried about it.
I mean, Sinestro knew it was a suicide mission.
Yes, but she didn't know how painful it would be. Haha. She thought she had an easy way.
She did not.
No. No.
Oh, hell no.
You come into
We'll bring
my
you
palace.
back just to kill you, and then we'll bring you back again just to kill you again.
Yeah. You know what she did to Paris? You know how she did that? Cool. Let's see how she likes it.
Raggy.
Yeah, maybe
As
Neff
Cass
shouldn't
and
come
Brian
into this
get
one.
As Cass and Brian get their murder hobo on.
Cass and Brian just covered in blood. All the torture tools out. Everyone else like, you guys okay? Yeah, this is how we do therapy.
And then we're like, and then it's like she dies again. It's like, Brian, bring it back.
Loran just likes to cut things.
I mean, Neff is currently covered in Jiral's blood. Bizarrely.
There's blood everywhere!
Blood everywhere.
And Slea's now, too.
Yeah,
Any
and Flea's now
graphic
too.
horror will be cut away from.
Yeah, I did say to Lily that because I think Ulster and Loran are prone to violence.
So is Cass.
Cass too. I will fade
Yeah.
to black. On anything too horrible. But I get the impression that it's going to be less of like a hand-on death and more of like a "what the fuck were you doing?" Kind of vibes.
Oh no.
Anyway.
There's going to be some serious death that you might need to fade to black for.
Maybe.
What?
What?
No, I genuinely didn't hear what you said.
I said though there will need to be some serious fade to black because Cass will go full murder hobo.
Yeah, Ulster's also very angry.
Okay. So
I mean, Cass doesn't even know yet.
Ulster knows, but he's not registering it yet. He's not going to go see the body, I don't think. He can't, I don't think. I'm sure he's Leah. He's going to get his revenge for you, though.
So, Loran finishes casting the door and pulls it open and looks over at Sinestro's body.
Wait, I missed something.
You were away. We can go there.
What happened?
He cast the action.
Oh, cool.
Throws open the door, looks down at the body and is just like... and just like flicks with his hand and drags it forward into the room by the foot.
Also will follow after it.
No, I don't feel like touching that.
Have you dropped the entangle spell?
Yeah, he would have dropped it. He also would have cast heal before Sinestro actually cocked it.
Because we were in initiative, that wouldn't be possible.
We weren't in initiative at that point.
Sinestro was last in the chat.
Yeah, and I said, you dropped initiative, and I said I cast heal.
She is dead, but
Okay.
you can bring her back if you want to.
Okay.
So, you bring the body in, and you can tell that I'm going to eat a piece of karate.
Do you want to pause for 2 minutes whilst you eat?
Karake.
No.
I think we probably should. Emma's got a really fat bowl of karage.
I got one piece. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Only one. Couple.
Do you mind if we pause for 1 minute?
No.
Okay.
Emma, question. Was
Yeah.
there, because obviously metagaming, we know there was other people with Sinestre, but now
you
that
would be able to see
Sinestre's
them.
dead, and are they still there?
You would have seen them on the way. What I described was you guys all saw the bodies. So you saw the 2 dead bodies, one which Valis killed and one which Jamal
Right.
killed.
Right, got you. Sorry.
If you want to bring those in as well, you can. Loran
I
is happy
think Cass
to.
would look at them and be like, "Great, more bodies," and shove them in her back.
Oh my god.
And she'd be like, "They're there if we want to question them, but I'm keeping them with my body pile."
And I'll say, I think, with regards to Sinestre's death, I'll say that she's in death, like, save, so she's technically unconscious. So if you healed her, she could be brought back to life. So I say once the door closes, Ulster, do you want to do that heal?
Yeah, he would have done it as soon as she was in a place.
So she's not going to come back exactly the same, considering the poison, but she'll be brought back to 1 HP, which is what happens when you heal someone on a death save. Actually, no, with a heal, though. Let me just see.
No, actually, he will heal her enough that she's not dead because he doesn't want to keep her in the mansion, I don't think.
Sure.
Yeah,
Loran closes the door, I think,
that.
and when he does, we're leaving just the 4 of you in there. He just kind of leans his back against the door and just says, I think it would be best if whatever you want to do to that is just out of the prying eyes of your brand new subjects. But I'm not going to stop you doing anything.
She'll be executed.
Okay, let Sleia do it if she wishes.
I would like Sleia to be there.
Are you going to eat her alive?
I don't want to eat that. I need someone to get the guards. We need to move her to the dungeons. I don't want anything to happen in here.
I'll just quick send massacre. I was not calling massacre. I'll send Sarah through. And you get the impression Loran doesn't want to leave you alone, but he also realizes that nobody in this room is going to leave. He sends the message off. And I think as that message sends, you see Sinestre just get bounce back up to that point of in between life and death.
Ulster immediately kicks her back to the ground.
Make me an attack.
Yeah.
How much exactly will you be healing her for? Just
enough that she's kind of like,
So 5 HP?
19 plus.
Is 5-ish a good number?
Yeah.
I think Cass would assist by putting a foot on her chest to keep her bed.
Is that just an unarmed strike?
Yeah.
25.
Mm-hmm.
So she just gets knocked down, I would say.
Non-lethal, I'm assuming?
No, non-lethal, yeah.
Cass, is there anything you want to do? Your foot is on her chest, just kind of pressing into her flesh. And she groans but says nothing.
Yeah. I'd say pushing down enough to hurt, but not enough to damage.
Yeah. She just is quiet. Yeah, we haven't actually had a break yet, have we? So I'll just wrap this up. So, Ulster, you felt this kind of feeling before. This merciless rage, which you know you're prone to, but you don't often let show in front of anyone except those closest to you. And as Loran closes that door and gives you that kind of knowing look, you hear a sort of voice in the back of your head. A low kind of rumbling.
Remember who you are, Simba.
No! Oh, that's actually a good line.
And who you are is a murder hobo.
Yeah. Almost like it's whispered in your ear with... almost directly. This is exactly the kind of person I expected you to be.
You can't do that right before the break.
You asked for a break!
Yeah, I wanted a break to make a tea!
Oh no.
Anyway, 2-minute break, thank you guys!
Wait. And just as that happens, you see Sinestre kind of spit the afterfoam of the poison out on the floor at your feet. She looks up at you, Cass. Looks at the foot and just rolls her eyes and closes them and just keeps them closed. She doesn't look at you, Ulster.
I think Ulster will crouch down by her and say, are you not going to put up any more of a fight?
If you say that, Sinestre says, I'm up for execution already anyway.
Oh, who said anything about execution immediately?
They would torture me everywhere.
Yes, but it's who's going to be doing the execution. It's going to matter.
I think this would be better for me. At least the death here has some kind of poetry to it.
Oh, who do you think's going to kill you, Sinestre? Do you think I'd let Sleia do it and give her that damage and the blood on her hands?
No.
I know someone else who would like to kill you, and who would bring you the greatest shame.
She looks at you, confused.
To you, Dra was nothing, right? Just a drow man. Worthless, useless. I wonder how it would feel to be killed by him. To someone as proud as yourself.
She does the Florence Pugh pout.
Also just smiles and straightens back up. We'll wait for the guards.
Cass, do you have anything you want to say to add to that? Before we could essentially do a fade to black if we wish to.
I think she would also lean down and say, you're not worth what we're going to do to you, but we're going to do it anyway.
Ouch.
I think at this point it doesn't, like, Cass is just like, I've got so much pent up rage. You're just a tool I'm going to use to get rid of it. You're not even worth anything. But yeah, that's what she says.
Does Cass wish to do anything that would require us to say maybe delay the guard's arrival for a few moments? Or Ulster?
I mean, if Cass really wants to do something, I think Ulster put his hand on Cass's shoulder. He looks like he's very happy to bide his time.
Oh yeah, I don't think Cass is necessarily saying she's going to do it right then, but I think like she's insinuating things to come.
Sure.
Maybe she'll just leave her with Neff in the room for a bit.
Well, that's the thing that broke Carul, so...
It was Neff and
Daniel broke Carul, yeah.
That might be an unnecessarily cruel form of torture.
Neff was the real torture, yeah. But anyway, on that...
No one in the mansion knows for sure that Sleia was killed?
Not for sure, but... I know you guys are intelligent.
I'm gonna just inside the scream. Can I inside the scream?
I feel like...
Yeah.
Da, 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 17.
Cash?
I'll also roll an insight. Hang on. 19.
You guys know what you need to know.
Yeah.
And with that,
And with that, Loran opens the door with a flourish and bows the guards in. And we'll catch up after we take a break. If we do you want to do a longer break because we didn't do one earlier at all, really. We did a few blue breaks.
you mean 10-minute break?
Yeah. So if you come back just before 12, and then we'll do play about an hour more, maybe a little bit longer. And then is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
You
That's
should
good, mate.
be. I think I have like an
Should
hour
be
and a
just
half left.
okay.
Cool.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Okay. no.
I'm here. I just have lunch.
Nice. I've just had a very quick ice cream sandwich. And they also have matcha tea.
Oh,
We've made matcha lattes.
We also have
Ooh,
matcha.
nice.
And I'm looking up this very cool spell which I didn't know existed, and oh my god. I'm giving this to
Which spell?
Strixhaven. Oh, it's a new one.
Wither and Bloom.
I almost
love
preferred
it.
that myself in Waterstones because it was there.
It's a new druid
Curriculum
spell
of Chaos.
that Allstack can do.
Yeah, I love it. It's
Also, I didn't realize that when you cast, like when you roll on the thing, it shows up for everyone. So like,
Yeah.
I was like, because I could see when you were rolling Primal Savagery, Lils.
Oh, I was just
weird.
rolling for fun. I never
Oh,
use the dice on here.
That's exactly the same as me. I'm always like rolling to sort of get.
I like seeing them. Like
oh,
I'll just click one, and I like seeing the little dice.
Yeah.
But I never
like,
use them because I use my own dice.
I want to see what the new Strixhaven spells are specifically.
The new Strixhaven spells are really cool. My favorite one for clerics is called Borrowed Knowledge.
I haven't checked the new ones. Hold on.
Basically, you get proficiency in one skill for an hour.
How many
So
new
there's
druid
a
spells are there then?
Super
I'm gonna find
powered
out right
version of Slea's little thing with
I
her
really think he has
channel
that many new
divinity.
ones.
It's only with
how do
Bloom.
you find new spells?
So the way you know a new spell is coming out is when a new expansion comes out for D&D. So you can search by the expansion on D&D Beyond. So if you show advanced filters and click on source, you can type in like Xanathar's Guide or Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Do we get them all through John?
We get them all through Aelin.
Oh, through Aelin.
For this campaign.
Thank
yeah.
you, Aelin.
And then through John, we get some stuff as well.
I was just telling Emma about spells that I was preparing but didn't actually do.
I don't know. Where do you find? I don't
So
understand.
go to spells.
Yeah.
Okay, and then go show advanced filters.
Are you looking at casted spells, or are you looking at spells altogether?
No, sorry. Go to the spells, like searching for spells.
For game rules.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So game rules, spells, and you can click your class if you want to.
Or just view all, yeah.
And then advanced filters, source, and then type in the two newest ones, probably Tasha's Guide to Everything and Strixhaven. And make sure you're on the Warlock spells.
Tasha's might be one of my favorite expansions in a while, but Strixhaven had some great spells.
There's a really beautiful like special edition of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And
yes.
And it's like white, so pretty. It's so pretty.
I just saw the cover the other day.
For druids, there's 4 new spells. Summon Elemental, Summon Fae, Wither and Bloom, and Summon Beast.
What is Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and what's the other one?
Strixhaven.
I think it's SCOE. No, that's...
Got it. It's STRIX. And then Haven.
Yeah.
And then you just
click on those. Filter spells. Has my timer been going? No, it hasn't. I'll make sure we get
when content is shared through D&D Beyond, can you only use that content on characters in the same campaign as the person sharing it?
Usually, Usually you get it for all of your characters.
Cool stuff.
So you should be able to get like different character things you can make. But if you leave the campaign, I think you might lose some stuff. So it does depend. It's a bit complicated.
Okay. Kinetic jaunt.
There's a lot of fun stuff.
There's some really cool stuff here.
Empower your movement with dance-like steps, giving yourself the following benefits. Walking speed increases 10 feet. Don't provoke opportunity attacks. Move through the space of another creature. Doesn't count as difficult terrain. If you end your turn in another creature's space, you are shunted to the last unoccupied space. You take some damage. Okay.
All this melee terminology. I'm like...
Anna, I know you're a fighter, and you get kind of branching spells. But if there was ever anything you saw that you thought, like as a player, that you saw that you thought was really cool and you wanted to try and weave in, that was on a similar level to the spells that you already had. For example, if you wanted to try something slightly different, you can talk to me about that. Just because we're going through spells, I know there's some new stuff that's come out that I won't necessarily be on top of. Because I don't usually check the new spells very often. But if there's ever anything that you think, oh, that might be really cool for Bluey, we can talk about it and see if we can fit it in somewhere. Maybe swap out one of your spells so you can try some new stuff. Yeesh. But anyway, that is a discussion for another day. This is a discussion for now.
Oh my god, hang on, this is quite cool. You create a blade-shaped planar rift about 3 feet long in an unoccupied space you can see within range. Blade lasts for duration. When you cast a spell, you can make up to 2 melee spell attacks with each blade, each one against a creature. On a hit, the target takes 4d12 force damage. This attack scores a critical hit if the number on the d20 is 18 or higher. On a critical hit, the blade deals an extra 8d12 force damage for a total of 12d12 force damage. And as a bonus action, you can move the blade up to 30 feet and make another spell attack with it again.
The fuck? So wait, like
I mean,
that is new spells. You know, people over there are playing so many D&D games, so many battle royales. I'm just like, I want to be there.
That is, to be fair, the 9th level spell, so it's not one that you just sort of whip out willy nilly.
No.
So.
But still.
It was a phrase as if like a whole little like rift in a plane forms a blade, like. And then you move that blade? Is that what that was?
Why the fuck not?
Why not? So you've created a rift, a planar rift that you cut people with.
It's kind of like a black hole, but in the shape of a knife. Like
ready to get Elijah.
But the effect isn't like cutting; it's like force. So
yeah, is that Mordenkainen's sword?
No, it's Blade of Disaster.
Oh. Because Mordenkainen's sword is it's weird. It's a high level, and Joral has it, but it's not quite finessed like some of the other, like I say, it's 7th level, like some of the other 7th level spells are. Like Teleport and Force Cage. Crown of Stars is what he was using.
Remember? Cast Force Cage on us?
Yeah, I do.
And we always died.
My, oh my, we're going to run out of time if we don't start now.
Okay.
So, bringing us back to the scene. There is organised chaos as people filter into the space. Guards, those few partygoers who were trapped outside, servants who had been formerly cowering and carrying a body upstairs, begin to sort of drift down and see what is left of the place. All in all, there is not that much actual structural damage. Joral's magic here did not spread beyond Sinestre herself. But there are lashes on the ground as if the ice has been whipped like a back. There are still the frozen remnants of ice-like fingers where Ulster gripped Sinestre in his claws. And there is blood. Blood on the stairs leading up to Ulster's bedroom. And where the body of the blackened sort of Apraean official lay, physician laid. The lower half has been almost exploded and scattered across the ground, leaving blackened blood just congealing where it lies. And considering that he was killed by they were killed by a child, the body of the other physician is bleeding profusely and twitching in death. The door of the mansion is thrown open and guards enter. Cass, all stare.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are standing over the body just as your people arrive. What do you guys do?
Well, Alsto's got his hand on Cass's shoulder. I think if the guards come in, Alsto will just point to Sinestra and say, "Take her to the dungeons. Be careful."
Bind her well. Oh, actually, I might be like, Barry, come out, and then we can like wrap her in a coil.
Constricting state.
Yes.
Easy. They act very quickly, taking her body down and pulling her across the floor through her own blood and entrails.
She's alive.
Entrails of the other physician.
Before they go, I think Cass is going to. She might look to Brian and be like, "We need to make sure that they are who they say they are."
Yes, I think we'll have to have somewhat of an interrogation effort. Alsto will follow the guards for now.
Yeah, I think as soon as like Cass is sure that she's being safely taken somewhere, she's going to run to find Sleer.
Alsto refuses to go upstairs. He's going to follow the guards down to the dungeons, and he'll nod at Jaral as he goes.
Jaral is not present. He has completely gone out of it. He's just standing there in the middle of all this chaos as people kind of filter in around and just watch from the distance.
He'll just nod at him. He won't say anything else.
Jaral isn't looking at him.
Okay. He means to be like, Valis is fine.
You get the impression he's not in a good way.
Okay.
But nobody is. You follow. Also, as you make your way, down the dungeons following, you do find Sarazar. Just as you pass the courtyard, there's that sort of divergence where it goes off to the kitchens and then to deeper servants' tunnels where you can access the prison area, the jailing area, where criminals are held without having to go through the same entrance they might usually use. You see Sarazar seated just outside of the courtyard, which has been fortified, and Valis is just pressed up against his side and covered in a cloak. You don't know where it came from. And he looks up at you all and just kind of like almost stands up.
How close are we?
You're passing each other in the corridor. He's sitting down, you're just about to go into the basement.
Alsto will stop kind of with his hand on the doorframe. He'll look back at Sarazar. Look after Valis. We've taken Sinestra.
Sinestra. Here's nods.
Can you assist, if you can, in the interrogation efforts? Don't trust anyone. Except him, and he nods at Valis and our friends.
That goes without saying. Lucas, it seems, is already on it. He has left the courtyard at the first sign of things quietening down and is commanding guards to escort people back to their rooms, take people out the front, return them to their communities outside who might be camping there. And when he sees you going down into the basement, he follows you, actually, and comes with.
Also, he won't say much, I don't think, but he'll ask, how is everyone?
We kept as many of them unawares as we could. Unawares as we could. Not difficult when most people here are drunk right now. The palace guards are doing what they can, but my people will also help flesh out their number. You trust your friend Saraza?
I trust Saraza.
Then I trust him also.
There was
I have a few of
assassin.
mine as well. I have a few of mine as well, helping with the movement of people. And you said, what, sorry?
She was an assassin.
Sent for us or for someone else?
Also just keeps walking. He looks like he's struggling to process, and he snaps back. One of us, it's fine. We're not easy to kill.
Lucas stops you, and he just says, we're going to need to talk more than just that.
I know.
Before we go down there, can you please just catch me up?
I wasn't there during the attack. You'll have to speak to Dural.
But I think you know the assailant. And he's asking you to just fill him in on... You don't have to actually say this to me in person, because we all know. But if you want to give him a brief rundown.
He'll explain who Sinestrate is, and I think maybe Lucas can infer from her family relation who the target was.
He keeps walking with you. Not an attack on a Messiah, but still an attack on our grounds. And an attack against one of your family.
Clea?
Lucas actually does have, because Slia talked to him about meeting with her aunt in the charisma trial. So he has some additional context.
There you go. I think he would hold on to that, because you didn't disclose that information to anyone else. But that can come back later on, perhaps. Also, he I lost it. What was he saying?
Oh. Something about a Messiah. It wasn't a Messiah, but it was on our grounds.
On our grounds, we treated as though they were one of our own, and I know they were to you.
I've already sentenced her to die. I would hope you agree with me.
I do. But let's make those calls together. I know it was difficult for you to see that.
I don't want her to die in the Messian way. She doesn't deserve that. But I don't want anyone to come down here.
Why? Not about the Messiah way, but why don't you want anyone to come down?
She doesn't deserve a gentle death.
Who will do it?
I would hope Dural.
If he is killing someone on our name, in our name, he cannot be just another assassin. He cannot be a commoner. He must have a position.
I plan to appoint him. I want Dural to be my personal assassin and bodyguard. He would have a place
Lucas stops and looks around, and he sees a couple of people kind of in the air, and he just says, "Leave us." And they scamper. And Lucas says, "I hear what you're saying. If this was any other circumstance, I wouldn't want this. And this is not how I would want things to be done. However, this is, I can tell, personal for you. And I will not fight you on it. I'll arrange that this area is empty for the remainder of the day. If you need to bring anybody in here.
This woman deserves no mercy. We cannot afford to have two benevolent kings on the throne.
Lucas just says, my benevolence does not extend to those who hurt my family. But more than that, I don't want your rule to be coloured by this day. Or your reputation. If anybody has any complex thoughts, they will not have time to bring against you.
No one will know the manner of her death.
You'll be protected. So will Gerald. She died of her wounds. And Lucas turns around.
Gallstone nods and he's going to keep going down to the dungeons.
You can hear him clearing the area. Loran and Cass. Are you following down to the dungeon as well, Cass?
No, Cass is... I think she needed a moment, but she's now going straight to Sleer.
Cass, as you make your way out of the mansion and you part ways with Ulster, you see Gerald just sort of standing there. At a loss. Not moving.
Cass looks really torn, like all she wants to do is run to Sleer, but she also thinks about what Sleer would probably do in that moment, and she goes to Gerald instead.
He doesn't register your footsteps.
I think she would take his hand and sort of lead him to Valis.
You can get an idea very quickly that most people are in the courtyard or in that area. And
she wouldn't lead him to a public place.
Valis, that's where Valis is with Saracen.
Okay, in that case she wouldn't do that. She'd like lead him away from blood, gore.
The mansion is still there and active if you wanted to put him.
Yeah, she would probably take him into the mansion,
Okay.
and like sit him down and like cover him in like furs and be like, I'll be right back. And then she goes to get Valis. She would not bring Gerald into a public place knowing the state he's in. But she thinks that getting Valis might help.
As you move through the corridors, you hear whispers, fragments of a story that you know by heart, being twisted already. Did you see the boy? He held a knife. And was it not that man who caused this? As if in reference to Gerald.
I think hearing those whispers, Cass would turn to them all and she says, your kings require your assistance, not your gossip. They will make a formal declaration about the events that have happened. But in the meantime, make yourself scarce.
Make an intimidation check, because I think that's right for this.
Damn straight, Cass. You tell him.
That is a natural 20.
Oh!
Which goes up to 31.
Very good.
Scary Cass.
Ooh. Cass, you just let all of your venom out, and they do not stick around. And there is silence following you as you walk. The seas part around you.
This tiny dwarf woman.
No! Freya falls into step behind you at one point.
She's like,
she just says, ooh. What happened in there? That's not her voice. What happened in there?
I think Freya has never seen this side of Cass before. Like Cass has always been, well, I suppose a little bit in the sense of when she saw Cass after Neff had died, Cass was just broken. Whereas this Cass is just Whereas this Cass is very angry, and it's just like we let our guards down for like one day, and fucking another one of my family died. I would say she's quite scary at this point, and is trying to like not be too scary. And I would also say that as much as she doesn't want to distrust Freya, she's now like the paranoia is back up. And to be honest, Cass doesn't want anyone near her and her family that she doesn't 100% trust, and she hates that is what she's feeling. So I think she'll turn to Freya and sort of like try and rein in the sort of I want to sort of kill everyone vibe, and just goes, if you could go to the courtyard and make sure that everyone is accounted for and safe, we'll be there as soon as we can. We have something much more important to deal with.
She kind of falters slightly, realizing that you're not your usual self. And she just nods. Yeah, anything you need. And will just take a step away. Doesn't look upset, she looks confused, so.
Yeah.
Just in case Cass is concerned.
I don't think Cass wants to like, she's not necessarily like, I don't trust Freya now, but I think her sort of paranoia is back up.
Yeah.
And she's had too many experiences of people who aren't who they are, including herself. So Cass doesn't really trust herself at this point either. And so I think at this point, the only people Cass trusts are like the DC and her family. So she sort of, whilst her feelings for Freya are still very strong and they're still there, she just needs a moment to sort of collect herself before she can. Sure. She doesn't want to like do anything she regrets. And
exactly.
Her main goal right now, is to find Valis, to try and help Dural, and find Sleer. Like all she wants to do is find Sleer, but she also wants to make sure Dural is okay.
Okay. You're able to find Valis and Saraza very quickly. Saraza almost looks thankful to you, having been torn in helping lead people and making sure that Valis is safe. And he passes him over to you and just gives you a look to say, take a breath. Because he can tell that and he could tell from Ulster previously, that you both were not in a good way. And you can take Valis back to Dural. When he sees him, he just holds him very close.
Before Cass takes him to Dural, I think she would deposit Freya with Saraza and basically be like, you go over there.
Go away.
You help him. And I think she would take Valis to like a little corner and she would like kneel before him, and she would sort of hold on to him and say, you should never have had to do that, but you did a very good job, and I'm very proud of you. But I need you to be even braver now and come and help me with your father.
He just nods and says, people are looking at me funny while I'm still holding this. And he passes the knife over. I'll come back for Cass in a while, maybe.
I think Cass gives like a little smile and like puts it away and sort of is like, it will be there for when you want it. But you shouldn't let other people's opinions cloud your judgment.
He doesn't look like he knows what to say to that. A very childish kind of face. as you realise he's kind of like learning and absorbing what you're saying. And you can reunite them before going up to Sleer. Neff and Bluey. It's excruciatingly slow work. But one thing you are thankful for is that as time passes and as the diamond sort of sinks into Sleer's foreshadowing.
Oh, don't kill another one.
No, don't say that.
Seeps into Sleer's chest. Her physical form does seem to be taking on a more palatable look.
Oh.
Eyes are now closed. Her skin is sort of shimmering. Her chest is sort of knitting itself together, and I think during the casting, Nephew would have probably cut her bloody clothes away, and Farinia would have brought forward just like a very simple blanket, and she would have called to you, Bluey. Get a robe for her, please.
Yes.
You can take anything from Allstar's room.
Yeah. Or what if Bluey got the Snuggie?
Oh. So it's just gonna be a tiny little body inside.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
stop it!
You get the Snuggie, and once the bloody clothes are cut away, and once Farinia has taken on the task of sort of just cleaning the wound around, just sort of like emptying red water into a bucket, and then just gently preparing Sleer to come back to life in as least traumatic a way as possible.
Bluey would have the rainbow side facing out. Hand it to Farinia, saying, "She made this for me." Yeah. Yeah. Like I'd want to leave it to Farinia unless like she asks for help.
I think she would need some.
Okay. Right.
And
I'll get it.
Farinia just looks up at you and just says, "Can you help me with this?"
Yeah.
And you sort of just put together the Snuggie and roll it underneath Sleer and just cuddle her up. Leaving just like enough space here for Neff to keep working. And Neff, it is difficult work. Package for you, Emma. Oh! It's difficult work. Thank you. And as you continue on with raising this person from the dead, you get the impression that you're not alone in the room. Like, there's something else here with you. And you swear you hear the ruffle of feathers from behind. Do you look over your shoulder?
Yes.
There is light seeping in from the corridor outside, where fires burn. Not affecting the ice, don't worry, but as I've mentioned so many times, but casting light. And your shadow just stretches up the wall, and from your perspective, it almost sort of like is skewed. The room seems to go on further and deeper than it ever has, and your shadow does not appear to be your own.
No.
What?
You just see your movements a lot more animalistic.
What?
Chewbacca.
Oh.
And as you kind of reach down and you try and sort of just adjust Sleer's position so that she's more comfortable, you hear that rustle of feathers again and you see your shadow changes with it. And you're reminded of the Temple of Death and Fala, and how this happened to her in reverse, where... No, not in reverse, in the same way. Where her body was her own, but her shadow was that of Jivakari.
Okay. I let the shadow continue on.
That was all.
Oh, that's it. It just kind of okay. I
It's just
think
there.
I think Neff would feel in that case. I think in this context, Neff would feel comforted by that.
Okay, interesting.
Emma's like, that's not my intention.
That's interesting.
I think that's how she would feel.
Your shadow bares its teeth at you.
I think regardless of how actually no, I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that.
It's my pen. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
guessing Bluey or Farinia or anyone else in the room don't see this.
No, from your perspective, this seems to be the same shadow that you've always seen. Although, Bluey, I think actually, considering you're also associated with the Sphinx, you might be able to make a perception check. Or an investigation, if you prefer.
I would prefer perception, personally.
Personally?
Oh, what is with these low bloody rolls? That's an 11 for...
High hopes, low rolls.
High hopes, very low rolls. I think that... Oh, no. I think that you probably don't know enough of what Neff is going through. She seems very focused to look in the right kind of places. But you do see that she looks comforted. And you kind of wish in that moment, when you see that expression, that you had your sword with you, because your sword has always been something that brought you closeness and comfort.
Not to distract you, Neff, can I get you anything?
Oh.
I could use a glass of water.
Okay.
It's very dehydrating, this process.
And she'll like sort of gesture as if, do you want me to like hold it steady and pour it, or do you...
Oh yeah,
have
100%.
hands
My
free?
hands are completely busy right now.
Alright.
Neff just opens her mouth for the water.
Yeah, you're a lot taller, so you'll just be able to... It's like you're watering a plant, you know?
I won't make you roll a dexterity check for Sleer's sake.
Louise has never been more focused on anything in her life, just not... just... So that Sleeve's body isn't affected and Neff doesn't drown, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You carry on like this.
Thank you, Bluey.
As the spell passes its halfway point, and Farinia just is quiet, watching you both.
Wait.
Cass enters the room. And you see what you see. Is there anything you want to do or say?
I think she enters the room and her heart just like, even though she knew, like her heart just breaks, but she also